Alabama and Ohio State last night for the national championship. And after about a quarter and a half, it became much more of a coronation than it was a competition. An Alabama team that just ran away with it. The Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith was brilliant. The quarterback Mac Jones threw 5 touchdowns. Nick Saban winning his 7th title, 6 of them at Bama. The question, is this the best Bama team ever? They went unbeaten. They won by an average of 29 points a game. It's Saban's 2nd ever undefeated season. They're also the first team to go wire-to-wire #1 in the CFP rankings and also win a national championship. So a lot of things pointing in that direction. And let's finish it up again with the crew that can give us some perspective on all of this. And Joey Galloway, I'll start with you again. You cover all season long for us. What's the most important thing you want to say this morning after watching the way this season came to a conclusion last night? What's the #1 takeaway for you?
Number one takeaway is thank you to everybody that put everything they did to get this season to where it is. We didn't expect it to get here. In the beginning of this thing, we didn't know if we were playing football at all. And we definitely didn't know if the Big Ten was going to play, if the Pac-12 was going to play, if the MAC was going to play. I'm just happy we got to this place with everybody involved, all the conferences played, and we had a terrific season. I think every team that played football this season has accomplished something that had never been done before, dealing with the issues that they dealt with. So I'm thankful to all those people that gave their time, their energy, and their effort to make this season happen.
I completely agree with that, and I'm so glad that you said it. Paul, then let me come to you. What does it mean for Nick Saban? If there were some who would say he was already the greatest coach of all time, what does this win and this season mean to his legacy?
I think it cements his legacy, Greeny, and you're right. Many of us did think he was. But what I think is so remarkable about this season, it wasn't won last night at Hard Rock Stadium. Nick Saban won this national championship back in March. Why March? When the entire sports world shut down. Exactly 10 months ago today, Alabama was about to go to spring practice. Nick Saban didn't panic. He figured out a way. He got his team Apple Watches. He kept up with them while they worked out at home. And when they finally reconvened, he was as laser focused as I have ever seen him. While coaches were at home, he was at work. Whether that makes sense or not, it did. And as a result of all of that, that planning back in March, April, and May, when the team came back in June, he was ready to roll, and that's exactly what happened.
And so he's so hard to read, Paul, but you're around him all the time. And again, you go back at that program to the days of Bear Bryant, so no one understands the history of it. He's so difficult to read because it's almost impossible to make him smile. But do you think this one means more to him as a result of all the things you just said?
I do. After his first national championship at Alabama, I saw him the next week, and I said, "Congratulations, Coach." He said, "Hey, don't congratulate me. I just have more problems now that we won." He was a joyless winner. You saw on his face last night the pride and the excitement and the energy and the happiness that he has with this team. I've never seen him this happy. I've never seen him care as much outwardly for a team. I think this is his greatest championship. Will it be the end? Of course not. We've written that chapter too many times. Nick Saban really feels like this. He's got the best recruiting class coming in. He's got a #1 team coming back. He's not about to stop now.
It's a train that doesn't show any sign of stopping anytime particularly soon. Dan, let's just talk about the football team for a minute. I mean, stars everywhere you look. What is the legacy of this Alabama team?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best Alabama team that I've ever seen, you know, and it's certainly into the conversation of one of the best college football teams I've ever seen. I think back to LSU again last year. I think to the early 2000 Miami teams. And the overwhelming kind of narrative is they just made everything look easy. They just made everything look, now it's not, but they just seemed to be on a different level. Both coaching, play calling, preparation, at the line of scrimmage talent, perimeter talent. There's going to be a lot of guys that make a lot of money on Sundays, but also become stars in the NFL. And so this is the best Alabama team that I have ever seen. And Greeny, I'll end it with this. The players and coaches are going to get a lot of praise for this season. I think Joey made a great point of a lot of the behind-the-scenes people deserve a lot of credit as well. And then I think the SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey, you know, the way that he led the charge to get college football kind of off the ground this year. And then 2 players that we're not celebrating today. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. We don't have last night without those 2 guys and their courageous leadership to get this season. So at the end of the day, it's a celebration for college football, and Alabama certainly sits at the top.
I agree. It's well said. Joey, I have 10 seconds. When we're all sitting here together again next year, a year from today, will we be talking about Alabama again? And will I be asking you, is this the best Nick Saban team ever?
Hey, look, we're going to take a year off from that. We're going to make Paul talk about the Buckeyes next season at this time.
Very good. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.